What's up, YouTube fam? I aspire that you are all doing very, very well. We're gonna jump right into this because I have been meaning to make this video for a hot minute. Because it's so important, you know? And especially if you're on a journey similar to mine, you know, just growing in awareness and consciousness and all that jazz. It's super, super crucial to really create your own belief system and own it, because all of this around us, is creation. We are creation. And we are the product of creation, and we just keep creating. And with that being said, creation is very much stemmed from imagination and ideas, thoughts, things that are very mental based, right? And I just feel like, especially once you embark on this journey, to think for yourself is going to be really crucial and key, because chances are you've been living your life believing things because someone else told you to believe that way. And it's very true for me, because that's exactly how I was living life. Literally just living my life according to how someone else told me it should be, just because that's how they were taught. And before that, you know, everybody was always taught how to think and how to feel and how to just navigate life. And I just think back to our childlike states where I just think about, you know, our childlike states. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing down. Yeah, it's better. The sun's out and I was like noticing a little. Anyways, back to what I was saying, as a child, I think back to those times and I'm like, wow, I was so unstoppable and limitless with my imagination and my thoughts, and being very, very honest. Like, children are very, very honest. If they don't like something, if something tastes yucky, they're gonna be like, ugh, I don't like this, right? And yeah, we're just so blunt as children. And then because we were just so susceptible, you know, because you're just in that childlike state of life, and you're susceptible to being told all these things. And then, you know, once you're a teenager, you're also still absorbing things that people are telling you with how to think and how to believe and what to have faith in, what not to have faith in, and just ultimately, yeah, what to believe and what not to believe. And a really big thing that gives me reassurance that I'm to believe just whatever I want is just the fact that the only one thing that actually separates us all, you know, is, it's not race, it's not ethnicity, it's not gender, it's not all of that. It's literally the way that we all think. Because yeah, there's a lot of similarities where, you know, you'll see two people that are this race, another group of people that's that religion, those people right there down the street who are that gender, blah blah blah, right? Like, all those people that you see share that trait in common, yes, but what's different, really different between all of them, because once again, they're all just human, right? They're all human. The one thing that really is making them truly different is just the way how they all think. Like, we all have our own very unique way of thinking, and we should embrace that. And with authenticity, it's important to embrace your individuality with the way that you think. Because I know people like to talk about the whole oneness, which is true, but honestly, life is a paradox. So with oneness, and yes, us being one human race, we are still different. Like, we all just have our unique qualities, and everybody is their own soul, and that's different. That's unique. That's why we all express ourselves differently. Once again, a lot of similarities, but at the end of the day, nothing is 100% concrete carbon copy around us. Like, there is so much beauty in just the different things, different perspectives. Yeah, different perspectives, different outlooks, different expressions. That is true art, because it's boundless. It's not within a certain parameter. Art is literally free to be whatever it wants to be. It's mere expression in infinite ways. So we're just gonna pick up from where we left off. Had to cut the clip there and stop recording because my brother came outside to join me, and that's our quality time. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just pick that up back again when I record. So here we are. But as I was saying, expression is art. The way we express ourselves is very much artistic because it just is boundless, and it doesn't have to conform. It just is. And that's how I feel perspective is. Like, everything just is. Like, it is whatever you see it or know it to be. And when I talk about belief system, like, I don't even mean that in a sense where you have to choose a religion or not choose a religion or anything like that, you know? Because I'm not just talking merely about creation in that aspect and deciding on what you want to be in alignment when it comes to the story behind creation and everything and how the world is. Like, that's a part of it too, but I don't solely mean that. Like, I don't only mean that. But also just your self-concept. People are always projecting. We are always projecting onto each other. And whatever that looks like just is too as well, right? But we don't realize how much we be absorbing other people's self-concepts. For example, you may have a vision to be an entrepreneur, and someone else is telling you, hey, you need to be a bit more realistic on these goals, and how are you going to make that happen? Because for them, they don't see that to be possible for themselves. That's why it's nice to be able to have conversations with people like that who have already done it, because they will just know where you're coming from and how challenging it can be to really trust that process. But once again, it's something that you have to see for yourself. You have to know that to be true for yourself. Like, that is something still within your belief system. You have to make it something that you know is just fated, and you're gonna do whatever it takes, of course, to get there. But at the same time, you're not even stressing over it or, you know, forcing yourself to do X, Y, and Z to make it happen if you just know it's gonna happen, and choosing to not really care about what that whole process looks like because you're just along for the journey. But that's just an example, right? Because a lot of people don't believe that something can be true for someone, and then other people are on the other side of that. So, you know what I mean? There's always just that other side of the spectrum when it comes to just like a lot of things, and a lot of things that humanity can do and achieve. And because we look around and we see people doing the similar things in terms of what they choose to do with their lives, it creates a lot of room for comparison. And we don't realize how much in terms of just our life paths, are all meant to be uniquely experienced. So once again, something that's just like different. It's not carbon copies. Like, we are not all experiencing life in the same exact lens. We do have eyes to see and such, and we look around and we view what it's like to be on Earth, but we are all just experiencing that differently. And we may all think just along the lines of similar thoughts as to why. That's why they say thoughts aren't really like necessarily your own, because once again, you're just the awareness observing those thoughts. Because you could have a thought, talk to somebody else, like, oh, I had that thought too, but this is how I saw it, this is what I thought of it afterwards, or these are the conclusions I came to with having those thoughts. Like, there are so many ways you can go with a thought. I need to hydrate. So that's why I be saying it's really important to create your belief system and own it. Because it's funny that we, like I've been encouraging in this video, is just celebrating your individuality. Although we are all one collective human race, at the end of the day, we need to still embrace what makes us us, because not every single quality is in every person. And once again, because we're all just experiencing life differently in different homes, different relatives, different upbringings, culture, fashion, all that kind of stuff has really impacted who we are as a person today. Just think about what you like to wear and what's in your closet, the kind of styles that you like to play around with and make your own, or tweak, or add, just your own special flair to it. All that is so mental, because to you, it looks great, it looks nice, you like it on yourself. Ask somebody else and they'll be like, I wouldn't wear that. I would instead wear that. Once again, a projection of just what they believe to be true, or to be right, or to be correct, so socially correct, and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's important to know this life for yourself, because no matter what, nobody came to Earth with it ingrained in their soul as like a baby, what life was all about, like, and how they would navigate life. Like, you know what I mean? As a baby, you don't even have any memories of yourself as a baby. So it's like with being raised by adults and being told what life is, it's something that once again also looks unique and different to a lot of people, because we're all just born elsewhere. Like, we're not all born in the same place on Earth. Earth is so vast, and that is why there are, I don't know exactly what the world's population is. I'm gonna assume that, like, it's about 8 billion now, allegedly. So let's just roll with that. 8 billion realities are existing, because we are all just experiencing life differently, and the thoughts that we have in our mind, we are all approaching them from a different point of awareness. So that's why I'm just really big on creating your belief system and owning it, and knowing it to be true for yourself. Because I'm telling you, especially on the internet, oh my gosh, especially on the internet, it happens in just day-to-day in-person conversations and such, but on the internet, people are ready to argue with why they are right within their own perspectives. And a lot of people aren't gonna have the thought and say, I'm just gonna meet this person with compassion, or meet this person with respect, or meet this person with validation or reassurance or anything like that. Instead it's going to be like, nope, let me just tell you why I think this is that, and you're wrong for thinking that. So a lot of people, it's weird, how a lot of people are just, we want to celebrate authenticity and encourage individuality and all that kind of stuff, but then when it comes to how to think and what to believe, a lot of people are just easy to push that perspective onto you and make you think that, because they think that it's right. And at the end of the day, there's just a whole lot of gray areas in life. Like, everybody really be thinking that there's always black and white with everything, black and white, but they don't realize that the things that they've experienced in their life has made them think that it's black and white. Because once again, as a baby, you were not saying that kind of stuff as a baby. Like, 3 days, you tell me 3 days fresh out the womb, you were thinking that. Like, no, we grew up and we absorbed what people told us, and then you recognize, wait, like, what do I actually believe to be true for myself now that I've surpassed being a child and being a teenager and such, and actually being an adult now and being able to reflect on all of that and unlearn some things. Because I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of things that I was told as a child that was okay to do, or that's right to happen to me as a child, and reflecting back on it, I was like, no, like, this is not right in the slightest. And for somebody else, they would disagree and think the other way. Like I said, like, you know, just the opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, life is a paradox, because not a lot of things are black and white, and like, there's just this huge infinite gray area because perspectives keep being introduced, and really what may seem true to somebody else is not to the other person. So, you know, and I hate when people get all technical and all actually like, and be all, oh, but like, does 2 + 2 not equal 4? Like, is there not 24 hours in a day? Like, we don't realize that a lot of this stuff, once again, we didn't come to Earth knowing this stuff. Like, we collectively created what we know now, has just all these belief systems and these ways to navigate life instead of just being totally clueless, aka just flow state, by the way. Because I sometimes wonder, you know, if it wasn't for clocks and measuring time, if we would have, like, what would society look like? But it would have been implemented some way or another. Especially with how the world is, you know. I feel like people would not be okay with just not knowing what's going on. Who knows? That's just me rambling. But it's just super important to have that authentic way of being when it comes to mentality, because once again, you know, you can be authentic in how you dress and what you like, your hobbies and everything, but if you're easily persuaded up here and you're gonna absorb someone telling you, oh yeah, you can't do it because not enough resources, it's gonna take a lot of time, there's no way you could become successful that quick, and it's gonna take a lot of patience, and like, you know, all these things that are not uplifting you. And all I'm saying is, hey, you know, that's why I like connecting with like-minded people, because once again, I have the full comprehension that we are all not going to think the exact same way, which is why this is another video. But there is really and truly power of the individual, because yeah, you can really only control yourself and how you approach and observe your thoughts. No one else can do that for you. You are the only one that gets to sit with yourself 24/7. I'm the only one who can sit with myself 24/7. Oh, fire truck. But that's why you need to, or not you need, no one needs to do anything. But that's why, you know, I find it really important for people to really navigate their minds in a way that is just progressive to them, because it's so easy to get caught up in someone else's stuff and, you know, think the way how other people think, instead of being like, wait, no, these are not even like, this is not even what feels true to me. Why am I accepting someone else's perspectives and their truth to be my own? Like, there's a whole lot of gray in this life, a whole lot of gray areas. And so that's why, me personally, I'm all for embracing just your unique qualities and what makes you you, down to your mental state. Because truly, that's where all this around us stemmed from. It was a mental image before it became actually tangible and we could actually touch and see, you know. I was looking at a plane flying by, you know. Once again, someone had to really believe in that vision and, you know it to be true with a lot of things for what they could accomplish. Because an airplane did not just pop out of nowhere. And they're like, oh my gosh, an airplane, how did this get built? That was a whole project. And all because somebody had the idea that, hey, you know what? We could create a new method of transportation. Life doesn't have to just be cars and bikes and all that kind of stuff. Like, or boats and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, truly, you know, create your belief system and own it. Be proud of the way how you think, because it's unique. It is unique. So many realities are existing, and we can't know everything that goes on in people's heads. Like, we can only know what's going on in our heads, so why not really hone in on that? And you know, this just came to mind, but a lot of people will tell you their thoughts, and you know, you won't even 100% know if they actually mean it. You just have to assume that they mean it, because you know. But I'm not even gonna get into the whole people say things that they don't mean, but like, that's exactly what I mean, you know. Like, you just never know. So I hope that makes sense. But I think that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, I'm all for celebrating authenticity and individuality and just the qualities that make me who I am. Because if it wasn't for my perspective and having the perspective that I have through all the things that I've been through, I don't know where I'd be. But I don't even want to know the answer to that, because I love where I am right now. You know what I'm saying? So it only gets better, because I know that it gets better. I have the forever knowing, as long as I'm alive, that it gets better. And who else is going to tell me that? And I'm like, no, like, but this is happening in the world, that's happening in the world. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. And I actually mean that. Like, otherwise my reality would be different. So once again, I created that from within, and I know that to be true, because I said it's true. I'm literally gonna watch the sunset right now that's coming out of the clouds. So cute. Those are all my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, let me know your thoughts and what resonated and all that jazz. But as for everything in this world, you know, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Because once again, this is not a one size fits all YouTube channel or video. It appeals to whoever it appeals to. It attracts whoever it attracts, and I'm just grateful for that. This is why we have this page and this community going. And speaking of community, if you are not subscribed, I will invite you to subscribe. Yeah, I just have so much to yap about nowadays, and I'm really just talking and talking and talking. But thank you for watching. I aspire you have a great rest of your day or night. And from me to you, as always, peace and love, peace and love.